On today's show, I'm honored to have a trailblazer and a man who is a national treasure, Dr. James Densler. Dr. Densler was the first African American pediatric surgeon in the United States. He shares some powerful lessons about what he's learned on the road to success and how he's overcome obstacles that he's faced along the way. Welcome to How to Stay Sane with Karen Jordan. How to stay sane. Dr. Densler, you are a trailblazer in the medical field. Tell us exactly, first of all, when did you decide you wanted to become a doctor?
Well, in high school, and I used to have some real good role models in the city where I lived in Savannah. I decided I wanted to be a physician.
And did you know at that point where you wanted to go to medical school, or did you know anything about the process of becoming a doctor?
No, I didn't, but I talked to 3 doctors in my hometown, and all of them went to Meharry, see. So that's why I got the idea of going to Meharry.
Oh, I see. And so you went, after high school, you went to Savannah State College?
Savannah State College. It's not Savannah State University, but it's Savannah State College.
Mm-hmm. And you majored in biology?
Yeah, I majored in biology, and I went to summer school most every year so I could get enough education hours to get a Georgia State teaching certificate, just in case. And that's what I did. I finished in biology, but I had a lot of hours in teaching. Mm-hmm. And I did practice teaching down in Brunswick, Georgia. And and so I had another thing to do if I didn't get accepted to medical school right away.
Did you start teaching before you went to medical school then?
Yeah, it was a real short time. I finished Savannah State in 54. I got a job that August of 54 with the Chatham County Board of Education. And the only opening they had was at Moses Jackson Elementary School. Now, most of my training had been in secondary education. Mm-hmm. But the principal of that school is one of my elementary school teachers. So she saw this as a good opportunity to get somebody she knew.
Oh, nice. So how long did you teach?
So we started when school started in August up until January. Well, half a year. I got a draft notice in November of the same year, and I had to go to the Army in the first week of January. So I stayed from August through January.
Oh, I see. And then how long did you stay in the Army?
2 years. Got in the Army in January of 57. I was stationed in Augusta for basic training, Augusta, Georgia. That was infantry training. Mm-hmm. But I stayed most of it in a kitchen. The flu epidemic was going around, and several of the main cooks were sick. So a guy who was my company commander, and he said, I see on your record there that you did some cooking at Savannah State. I said, yeah, I used to work as a short order cook in the college center. So he said, well, I'm in dire straits for somebody to help in the kitchen because 2 of our main cooks got the flu. So I said, well, I'll try to help. So while the guys were out there shooting the rifles, I was cooking. And when they got well, I went and I joined my group and went back to the field infantry and medics.
Oh, but you worked in medics?
Well, they was training us how to take care of casualties And then I left Augusta and went to Fort Sam Houston, Texas.
Mm-hmm.
And for the second course of medicine, field medicine and hospital medicine. So I was when I finished basic training after 16 weeks, I was trained as a medic.
Oh, really? So you were trained as a medic before you even got to medical school?
Yeah.
When did you apply to medical school, or how long did you stay in the Army?
I stayed in the Army for 2 years.
Uh-huh.
And so I got out in the Army in 57, January 57. I took a little job up in Washington at the National Institutes of Health, and they were going to train me how to be a hematologist.
Oh.
So I stayed there, and I met some other guys there, and one guy told me, he said, "Hey, Jimmy, I haven't told the people here yet that I'm going to be leaving because I got accepted to Meharry." I said, "Yeah, I'm going to be in your class."
So you got accepted to Meharry in what year?
I got accepted to Meharry in 57.
But I read that you actually wanted to go to a different medical school first, but you were barred from going there. Is that accurate?
Well, we all thought about going to Medical College of Georgia. They didn't have any blacks down there.
I see. So you had thought about, if you could have, going to the Medical College of Georgia.
Yeah, because it's the cheapest school and the school in Augusta, that was just about 125 miles from my home. But now, I didn't ever tell you that Georgia paid for segregation.
Oh, really?
They wouldn't let you go to the University of Georgia or Medical College of Georgia. So they had what I always call segregation money. They'd let you go to Meharry, and they paid a difference in the price of Meharry and the Medical College of Georgia. The Medical College of Georgia was one of the cheapest schools in the country, other than Texas and some other all-rich schools, all-rich states.
Mm-hmm.
And so, consequently, we got what I would call a differential. If the tuition at Meharry was $300, and the tuition it was $150 at the other place, they'd give you $150, and sort of to equalize the pay. And I used to always call it segregation money.
Really?
And it'd be 2 years, 2 times travel difference between that. It's calculated to travel miles from Savannah to Augusta, where the Medical College of Georgia was located. And then they calculate the mileage between Savannah and Nashville, where Meharry was located.
Really? That is so interesting. But how did you feel, about the fact that you were not allowed to attend the Medical College of Georgia?
Well, we all, during that time, wanted to be the best we could be, but we would love to stay at home and do that. I mean, now when I say stay at home, I mean go to Augusta. Well, I didn't know anybody in school up there, and so maybe the Lord knew what to do with me, send me to Meharry, where my class ahead of me was 2 guys who from Savannah, my hometown.
Oh, really? Nice. So you graduated from Meharry, and then when did you decide you wanted to be a pediatric surgeon in particular?
When I first went to Meharry, I got a job working with the pathology department. And I handled helped with all the autopsies that the school used to do. And I was going into pathology. I met Dr. Matthew Walker. He started talking surgery, of course.
Mm-hmm.
And then Dr. Walker, in my senior year, sent me to New York to a cancer and allied hospital called Memorial Hospital, and we stayed up there. It was 6 of us that went up there, and practically all 6 of those people went into surgery. So you see, sometimes you have to have good role models, see things to know it exists.
That's
and
wonderful.
So it was 6 of us, and they call these people who go out now and work like that externs. So we, the class of 61 was the first class to do this. So we were the guinea pigs for the externs program for Meharry.
Nice.
Because you're not one called an intern because you hadn't finished medical school yet. So
I
it's called
see.
an extern.
I see. So then by the time, since you did that during medical school, by the time you finished medical school, is that when you knew you wanted to be a surgeon?
Yeah. Now, when it was 6 of us in that first group, we all went up there in one car, and we stayed in a dormitory next to the school, Hunter College, right next to Hunter College.
Oh, nice.
And fortunately, the next year I was selected to do my internship in New York.
Oh, that's excellent. So after you practiced, I know you did your your own residency. How did you decide to focus on pediatric surgery in particular?
Well, when I was at the Public Health Service Hospital in Staten Island, they didn't have a pediatric surgeon, and we'd have on surgery injuries and selective things which needed to be done, and heretofore they transferred those patients to that hospital over in New York and in Manhattan. But they decided that they were going to try to do some of them in Staten Island, and that the doctors, expert pediatric surgeons and other surgeons, orthopedic surgeons who they needed in pediatrics to come over to the Staten Island and help with the cases, and I was just help those guys when they come to help do brain surgery, to do chest surgery, orthopedic surgery on children, and I kind of started liking it. And so I said, after I finished my residency, I'm going to try to go to a children's hospital. We used to do a lot of cases for the people in the black community. I started liking to do things in children. And one thing, children get well so quickly. So I started liking that.
Oh, that's excellent. And so also, so you had your successful practice for many years, and then you also later started helping when Morehouse opened its medical school. How did you teach the medical students that you have taught and the people, the doctors you have trained, how did you teach them about how to handle adversity?
You know, we're talking about segregation times, and we tell them a lot of times you're not going to get the residencies you want because of your color. And we taught them that they had to be extra good. You had to be 2 times better than anybody else for patients to come to you. And I still call residents and people that train with me now. Because I want them to still know we still have to do a good job with our public relations, we call it, with our patients.
You've accomplished so much in your career. What would you say have been some of the secrets to your success?
Working hard, instilling on other people, and my children, and I got a son who's a neurosurgeon.
Yes.
I instill in him to work hard. So sometimes I think I did that too much. He works too hard. And I got another son. I tell them all to do. They got to work hard, and they got to treat people right. It's so know that a lot of the things we learn in medicine comes from learning on the patient. But you got to let them know that you appreciate them being your patients, and you patient try new things on them. You got to tell them that, and new operations. You got to tell them that. So you got to be a diplomat and a help to the community too.
Yes, that's wonderful. What have you taught your sons about how to handle adversity or overcome adversity, challenges they experience?
We tell them that everybody has adversity. And, I could have given up if I couldn't go to the Medical College of Georgia and say, I can't go to Medical College and I'm not going to be a doctor. I said, no, I can't be a doctor in the Medical School of Georgia. I'm going to go to Meharry or somewhere else and be a better doctor than they can make me. That's the kind of attitude you got to have.
That makes sense. That's excellent. How do you keep a level head when you have received so many accolades and awards over the years?
I tell you, awards don't mean nothing. My awards and the patient award is to get well.
How are you able to stay, when it comes to wellness, how are you maintaining being in such good shape in your retirement? And what advice would you give to other people?
Work hard, stay away from alcohol, treat everybody right. That's about all I can tell you.
Mm-hmm. That's great. Is there any other advice you would like to give people that we haven't talked about already that you think people should know when it comes to facing challenges in life?
Yeah. A lot of people finish school and they think they got to buy the most expensive car. They got to go buy the most expensive house because they're trying to keep up with the Joneses. You don't have to keep up with the Joneses. Just get a cheap car and use it till it falls to pieces. Example is, I'm looking at my wife right now. She's driving a 25-year-old Toyota, and I'm driving a 14-year-old Toyota, and my son got a 3-year Toyota. So we didn't spend all our money on cars, and what we did in our group was so strange that nobody had done it before. We were the first black group to incorporate in Georgia, but we also was the first one to have a pension and profit sharing plan. And I didn't know what it was, and they explained it to me, and then they saw I enjoyed dealing with it, so they put me in charge of the pension and profit sharing plan. So I tell anybody who going into practice, start them up a plan, pension and profit sharing plan, and so you can save money with and don't have to be worried about Uncle Sam trying to come and take it from you, because it's a qualified plan. And you'd be surprised if you do that, how much you can save and how much you can keep as compared to just putting it in the bank.
That's an excellent idea. Thank you so much, Dr. Densler, for being on the show today.
All right.
I love those lessons Dr. Densler shared about what it takes to be a success and how to pivot when obstacles are thrown in your path, and why we should just forget about trying to keep up with the Joneses. I hope I'm that together at the age of 94. Wow, Dr. Densler. What an honor. And thank you for listening. Don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss an episode. Join me next time on How to Stay Sane with Karen Jordan. How to